You're trying to find a combination of 3 out of 30 numbers that adds up to a multiple of 3, right? How many are there? First of all, if you just think about picking 3 out of 30, it's just 30 combination 3, but it's not necessarily a multiple of 3 by picking 3 no matter what. To solve this problem, the easiest approach is to select only multiples of 3 and add them up. This ensures that the sum will also be a multiple of 3. We can easily find the multiples of 3 by counting from 1 to 30, where we have a total of 10 multiples. By choosing any 3 of these multiples, their sum will always be a multiple of 3. However, it's important to note that even if we don't specifically choose multiples of 3, there are cases where adding up 3 numbers can still result in a multiple of 3. For example, selecting 1, 2, and 3 would yield a sum of 6, which is a multiple of 3. Therefore, the key to solving this problem is to focus on adding up multiples of 3, as this will consistently yield a multiple of 3 as the result. Thus, we simply need to choose 3 multiples of 3. We're picking only 3 out of 10 numbers, which are 3, 6, 9, 12, and 30. If you calculate the total, it is certainly a multiple of 3. So you simply need to choose 3 multiples of 3, So I tried to write an answer, but it turns out that even if it's not a multiple of 3, there are cases where adding it up results in a multiple of 3, For example, what kind of thing, the 1, 2, 3 we did at the beginning, this isn't just adding multiples of 3, you guys, but the sum turned out to be a multiple of 3. You can at least think about that. Even if it's not a multiple of 3, you can still add it up and it could become a multiple of 3, Well, now let's think about what kind of case that is. In order to accomplish that, you have to classify the numbers based on the remainder obtained when they are divided by 3. So we divided these numbers into 3 groups, these ones, and these ones. How did we classify them? We divided them into 3 categories, the ones that are divisible by 3, the ones that have a remainder of 2 when divided by 3, and the ones that have a remainder of 1 when divided by 3. We classified them like this. Why did we classify them like this? Because the ones written on the first line are the ones that have a remainder of 1 when divided by 3, so they have the form of 3 plus 1. The second group consists of the ones that have a remainder of 2 when divided by 3, and the third group consists of multiples of 3. So we add them up to make multiples of 3. What is the first case? I need to add more words to meet the word count requirement. So it's like choosing 3 out of the multiples of 3, but it's not just these, Our answer would be 10 combination 3, but by the way, what is 10 combination 3? You're just selecting 3 out of these 10, so naturally it should be a multiple of 3. However, even if you don't choose them in this manner, they can select different ones among themselves and create a multiple of 3. For instance, hey guys, even if you only pick 3 out of them, it will still result in a multiple of 3, correct? So here's how we can figure it out, All these guys written here are the ones that are 3n plus 1, right? So let's say you randomly picked 3 things, for example, 3a plus 1, 3b plus 1, and 3c plus 1. You would add those 3 things together, right? So when 1 and 1 come together, they combine to make 3, So it is always a multiple of 3, got it? If you take 3 numbers in the form of 3n plus 1 and add them together, you get a multiple of 3. So what's the deal here? Why is it that even if you pick any 3 numbers from here, you can still make a multiple of 3? So if you add 1 to 3n and do it 3 more times, it becomes 3 again. So guys, does that mean if we pick 3 numbers here and add them, will it make a multiple of 3? How the hell am I supposed to know that? It's like when you add 3n plus 2, for example, 3a plus 2, 3b plus 2, 3c plus 2. These are all multiples of 3 anyway, so when you add these 3, it becomes 6. It means that another multiple of 3 is created. So it's okay to choose any 3 from here, or choose any 3 from here, and still make a multiple of 3. Is it clear so far? But now this is not the end, correct? Even if you select one here, select one here, and select one here, another multiple of 3 is generated. So the one on the left is in the form of 3n plus 1, and the one on the second line is in the form of 3n plus 2. So when you add them together, you get 3 again when you add 1 plus 2. Now, if you take 1 from here and add it, will it become a multiple of 3 again? So out of these 30 numbers, there are 4 cases where the sum of the numbers is a multiple of 3, right? Is that correct? When selecting 3 from these, when selecting 3 from these, when selecting 3 from these one by one, when selecting one by one and adding this, guys, if we have to ensure that the sum of the problem is a multiple of 4, we have to categorize the numbers based on the remainder when divided by 4. This classification is necessary to make the problem add up to a multiple of 4, as it ensures that all numbers fall into one of the 4 possible remainder categories.